All right, everybody. Today, I want to talk to you about something that could shake up the way that we do business and exchange money here in Massachusetts. So, Governor Maura Healey just signed a new bill, and it's called the Domestic Money Transmission Act. Basically, what it is they are going to start regulating apps like PayPal, Venmo, and the Cash App. And they're kind of saying that this is about consumer protection, but I really don't know, guys. In my opinion, if people are worried about scams, why not just use alternative methods that are already safer? You could pay cash, you could use a credit card, whatever it may be. Now, before you yell at me, let me break some of this down for you. So here's the deal, right? The new law will pretty much require payment apps like Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App to get licensed through Massachusetts Division of Banks. So it's really supposed to modernize, from what they say, outdated financial regulations and align us with the national standards to try to protect consumers from fraud, which on paper, of course, sounds good, but just hear me out for a second here. These are the potential issues that I have with this. So, Governor Healey says that the bill is critical because billions of dollars flow through these apps every year. I know multiple businesses that use Venmo. I get my haircut and I pay with Venmo. That is what I do. I also pay some of my agents through Venmo if they are doing something for me, a sign or delivering something, whatever it may be. So they want to make sure that people aren't getting scammed or falling victim to fraud, which again, I could understand that point. But the people that support this bill say it'll create a new level playing field between banks and non-bank financial services like these payment apps. But here's the thing, guys, right? These regulations, any regulations, they come with a cost, and payment apps will have to pay licensing fees. They will have to comply with audits, I'm sure, and meet stricter reporting requirements. And let's be honest here, guys, costs always trickle down to us, the users. That is what happens. So let me talk about the business side of this, because I am a business owner too, and I have many friends that own businesses. So if you are a small business owner using Venmo or PayPal to handle payments, I would say I would learn about this and pretty much get ready. I would contact them. I'm actually in the process of contacting them as well. I want to see if we can get them on our show, because this could mean higher transaction fees as these apps have to absorb the cost of compliance. And for some small businesses, especially those that are operating on thin margins, this could really hurt their bottom line and translate to the customer's pockets. Like I said, nobody is going to just eat fees without passing them on to somebody else. It just doesn't happen. These businesses need to operate. And then you think about, businesses that are just starting up. These different licensing and compliance hurdles could be a potential deal breaker for new businesses, and it could potentially discourage innovation and competition in the market, which basically makes things more affordable, right? It ironically leaves you with fewer options in the long run. And apparently, this bill is going to enhance regulatory efficiency and reduce the burden on businesses over time by aligning Massachusetts with the national standards. But at least that's what they're saying, okay, to some point. But how long is over time? And how much will these business owners and now consumers have to pay in the meantime? Basically, this is just my opinion here, guys. Companies that fail to comply with new regulations, such as not obtaining a license or meeting reporting requirements or whatever it may be, I'm sure that they could be subject to fines. At least that's what I would think that they would do. And this could potentially become an income stream or revenue as enforcement ramps up. Now, here's my opinion on the whole thing. And I could be completely off on this, guys. You could let me know. I really, really can. But like I said earlier, if people are worried about scams and fraud on Venmo or PayPal or Cash App, just use an alternative method, right? Use cash, use your credit card, or whatever it may be. A lot of those, like if you use your credit card, a lot of them come in with like those built-in fraud protection and stuff like that. So do we really need an extra layer of regulation? Or to some extent, is this just overcomplicating things and creating less opportunities for small businesses that are trying to operate their business efficiently? And let's not forget, like scams, they're out there, right? They happen everywhere. And no amount of regulation is going to completely eliminate people from creating new scams. So is this law really solving a problem or just creating more red tape? As you know, I talk about this state a lot, and there is a lot of red tape here, no matter what the heck you are doing. Now, what is most interesting about this is that Massachusetts is not the first state to do this, okay? There are 2 other states that have similar laws. Now, could you guess which states they are, right? California and New York. Take it from there, guys. Take it from there. But here's the thing. Massachusetts has gone a step further. And they adopted, and forgive me if I get this wrong from memory, it's something called the network supervision. Basically, this means that there's going to be a coalition of state regulators working together to oversee the apps, all right? It's efficient on paper, but it's also a reminder that this isn't just a local issue, right? This is a national issue. It's part of a broader trend. And people that support this bill claim it'll make the place, or I should say the marketplace, safer to some extent. But if you're like me, you might be wondering if this is more about government control and less about actual customer benefits, right? So I don't know, guys. I think overall that when you create more red tape for any current business, right, it makes them harder to operate. And it also makes future businesses' plans to operate substantially harder. Now, I'm all for protecting the consumer and so on and so forth, okay? But in one hand, but in the other hand, if you're creating agencies and you're creating all of this red tape where, you have to essentially hire people to oversee these things, or, pay Venmo or pay PayPal, that is, like I said, it's going to trickle down to your customers to some extent. So I'm curious how this bill plays out. As soon as I have more information on this, I will let you know. One of my colleagues is actually working on contacting somebody from Venmo and from PayPal to see how this has affected the states of California and the state of New York, to see how, if this was a good thing or a bad thing. But of course, it seems as though Massachusetts is creating even more red tape than those states even did. So again, I could be wrong, but I just don't know if this is... I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing yet. I'm going to continue covering this as I get more information. But anyway, had to get on here, talk about this, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye-bye.